Hello, everybody. I am going to be installing and painting my 3D wall panels for my bedroom today. I have an accent, well, I don't have an accent while I'm making one, in my bedroom where my TV is mounted. And I just wanted to, you see this line in the middle, that's where the paint stripped from the cable cord way back when I had cable. And I said, well, rather than paint the wall, let me find something fancy to do. So I decided to do these 3D wall panels I found. I believe it was on Pinterest. They're a little bit thicker than cardboard. I found them on Wayfair.com. I bought a box of, well, I bought six boxes, and I believe 12 are in each box. Based on the square footage it said I needed, that's what I got. I ended up with leftovers and had to return 2 boxes. So yeah, money saved. I believe each box was about like $40. So all in all, the boxes probably cost me about 200 and change. But anyway, so I also bought some Gorilla Glue caulk that I can push out. You see me trying to figure out how to install it. Never used one before. And I went ahead and sized up these tiles to the wall and made sure the pattern matched because there's like a brick pattern. And then I used this Gorilla Glue. I got all the crevices, the corners, to make sure it adhered well. This is like the heavy duty version. And then I lined it up and stuck it to the wall. This part, the sticking, gluing was fairly easy. The trouble came in when I had to cut pieces out. So you'll see me right here trying to cut out the plug. These, for one, it wasn't easy to measure because they kind of it wasn't a flat surface. So I measured up and sides and then did the same thing in, as you can see here on the board, and marked it. Yeah, this job wasn't as easy as I expected when it came to the cutting and the making sure my plugs were still showing. I didn't cover them up. And also going around my door, I had to cut, as well as around the television. And then also the ceiling, because I had to cut the tiles pretty much in half to go up to the ceiling. And the problem there was these are not easy to cut. So I started off using an X-Acto blade. That's what I'm using here. Is this an no, a box cutter. Sorry. And the box cutter did the job, but it left it jagged. So I kind of had to I don't know, smooth it in kind of with my fingers. So I also bought an electric scissor, which you'll see me using later on to actually cut bigger pieces. And I thought that would be a solution to this, but it was not. What made it, because of it's not a flat surface, the bumps of the fake bricks, it made it hard to cut. So there was definitely some trouble in cutting this project. Just putting them up took about 2 days. And yeah, my back was not happy about the situation, to say the least. I was like, what are you doing and why? So yeah, I went through the whole wall, and when I got to the door, you'll see that I left all that cutting for another day because I couldn't do it. But yeah, enjoy, and I will be back when it's time to paint. So now it's time to paint. Got the whole wall up. I did all the corners around the door. And this stayed like this for about, I would say 2 or 3 weeks. And then I decided, okay, well, I want to go ahead and buy a bronze metallic paint to give it like a, I don't know, a sheen. Not so much of a sheen, but make it look metally, like a metal plate rather than just a painted pattern. That's my husband tickling Paige. Yeah, so okay, I guess he had to get his shine. So I prepped the walls by putting down, well, not the walls yet. I put down some, what is it called? The drop cloths. And now I'm prepping by putting the blue painter's tape around all my edges. Honestly, this was useless because I still got paint on my wall. So I used, as you just saw, PPG metallic paint. And the color I picked was bronze ochre. It's OCHRE. I bought that 1 quart in hopes that it would be enough, and I was wrong. So I actually had to go back to Home Depot and buy a 2nd quart the next day. But this is the first day's work, so I'm coming in. This is what the 1 quart did for me. So now I'm coming in and finishing it off after I went to Home Depot. This is the next day. And I am going in one direction. I felt like if you went up and down or sideways, the paint wouldn't, the brush strokes wouldn't look good. So I'm going in one side-to-side direction, horizontally, to cover all the bricks. I started with a roller, and that was unsuccessful. The roller obviously wouldn't get into the cracks. I didn't think this through. It wouldn't get into the cracks of the bricks. So I actually had to manually paintbrush this whole thing. So to say the least, my back was not happy about the situation. It was actually worse putting these up than it was painting them, because painting them was kind of, I would say, therapeutic. But yeah, I went in one motion the whole time, left to right. Paige wanted to help, and her help is more hindrance than help. But you'll see later on, she actually figured it out. I showed her a couple times, like, you have to go this way, then that way, this way, then that way. And she was very helpful in painting the bottom of the wall because, height. And for me, I would have to bend down or sit down to do it. But she got in there because it was at her level. So yeah, I went through all the top. So you see, I did all the corners. The corners were the edge. That was the hard part because I had to use the actual little paintbrush that Paige uses to make pictures. So I wouldn't get any of the bronze paint on my trim. So for the ceiling, the baseboards, and around the door, I used that little paintbrush. It was tedious, to say the least. And then I went in with a bigger paintbrush to do like the border around the door and around the floorboards. And now I'm using an even bigger paintbrush to actually do the tabs. Then I had to make sure that all the bricks, like the edges of the bricks, were covered, because just running over it with the paintbrush wasn't like getting the edges and the corners of each specific brick. So yeah, this was not easy, to say the least, but I love the way it turned out. I will let you guys watch me work, and you will see the finished product shortly.